Hey guys, welcome to A Touch of Film. Sorry I've not done a video on my own for a while. I've been very busy, but I've been doing those streams every Friday. This week we're not doing a talking movies, a real shame, but it's for the greater good. Dion is doing a film festival. He's organising it, and I wish him so much best for him. I hope it does well for him, because he's a top guy and film is his greatest passion. So I want to see big support for him. He's a top guy. But yeah, I'm hoping to get back into the swing of doing videos weekly. But yeah, coming back with a review today, a review of probably one of the most anticipated movies of the year, especially from Asian cinema. I'm talking about the sequel to the 2016 Train to Busan and Seoul Station. It is Peninsula, a zombie film. But yeah, Train to Busan was one of those big films that came out in 2016. It was a sweet spot for Korean cinema, 2016. You had The Handmaiden, Age of Shadows, you had The Wailing, some of the best films of the last decade which came out in Korea were in that year. I mean, The Wailing and The Handmaiden for me were phenomenal movies, but directed by some of the best directors. I mean, that is just amazing. But yeah, Yoon Song-ho has returned with Peninsula. Now, Peninsula is set 4 years after the incidents of Train to Busan and Seoul Station. At the beginning of the movie, we see what happened 4 years ago with these soldiers allowing these people getting the people to leave Korea, and everyone's just becoming refugees. They're going to all the neighboring Asian countries like Japan, China, Hong Kong, and we see what is happening at this time. It's very touching, very heartbreaking scenes where people are just leaving everything to go and just find shelter somewhere else where they can be safe away from these zombies. Not the usual zombies, these are the fast-paced, chaotic zombies. But yeah, the film just shows the beginning of this pandemic leading on to 4 years later, where the movie really starts, and we find Gang Dong-won playing this ex-military man who is very down on his luck. He's living in Hong Kong as a refugee, and the refugees are seen quite badly by the Hong Kong residents. They don't want them there. Because of what happened with the zombies. The whole of Asia is very much like, no, we don't want any of these zombies in our country. Rightly so. I mean, zombies, you wouldn't want them in your country either. But yeah, it's quite sad. And Gang Dong-won, he's sort of like down on his luck, and he gets pulled into this job to gain some money to start a new life in Hong Kong, because they have no money. To start a new life, he's asked by these Hong Kong triads to go back to Korea and get this van, which is just in the middle of nowhere on the road, which is holding $20 million US. And out of desperation, and the fact that his brother-in-law is desperate as well, he goes into it and goes back to Korea to get this van. It's quite a simplistic story, but things really unravel in this. Now, the zombies, of course, this is a zombie movie. Unlike Train to Busan, the zombies play very much on the back foot of this movie. Zombies tend to not. They react very differently in the evening, and this movie is set throughout one night. Is it one night? I think it's one night in Korea. In Korea, trying to get this money. It's totally different, but the real bad guys in this are not the zombies. It's in fact this ex-military rogue military group which now run this area where the money is being held. They have to, instead of deal with the zombies, it's more like dealing with these this militia. Now of course the zombies are there, we do see the zombies a lot, but they're not the predominant problem in this film. I mean, if you're going in to see this film, please be aware of that. I mean, it's the zombies don't play a big part in this film as they did in Train to Busan, but there are zombies which, you know, they're still a major threat in this film. So that's what makes it very different from the first film, and unlike the first film, I think this movie has slightly less heart than the original movie. I mean, we had a lot of emotions in the first movie. You had a couple, a pregnant woman with her husband, and the husband was trying to keep her alive. You had this father-daughter dynamic. You had this girlfriend and boyfriend, and there was so much like people just trying to take care of their loved ones, and, you know, risking everything and you know, having their lives, you know, taken away just to survive, you know, protect their loved ones. So this movie is very different to that. I mean, you do see a lot of the emotion in the backstory of these characters that as we meet them, which is it is still very touching. Don't get me wrong, it is still very touching, this story, but it doesn't play a major point that we saw in the first movie, which, you know, it did draw your heartstrings, pull on your heartstrings in the first movie. Now, Gang Dong-won is absolutely phenomenal in this movie. He steals every scene he's in. I mean, I think he's, whenever I see him in a film, I always feel like he gives probably the best performance in any of his movies that he plays in. I mean, Priest was one of the ones that just was phenomenal, and I think it was Violent Prosecutor as well. I mean, he stole the show off Wang Jung-min, which is just hard to do. So yeah, he's just absolutely phenomenal in this, and I think every other actor in this really takes a back seat to him. Technically, I think the film was, in terms of visuals, was absolutely stunning. It was so dark. The zombies were just like, the way that they used this whole night vision to see the zombies in places where you couldn't see looked really cool, and the zombie makeup and CGI was just amazing. Like when you see like loads of zombies like piling up, it is like you see in that Brad Pitt zombie film. It just looks immense and quite like shocking. But yeah, the CGI just looks really cool, and the makeup was, you know, stunning. The way that you see the transformations there and then with the CGI and the makeup together, it just looks really cool. And that was something that I really liked in the first one, the transformations, how quick they were. You'd see like straight away from the moment they're bitten, and then you start seeing the black veins popping out and the eyes start to transform. I thought that looks so cool, and this is something else in that you see in this movie that, you know, is really cool to see. Do I think it's as good as the first two movies? I think it's as good as Seoul Station. Probably to everyone's thinking, oh, this is going to be another Train to Busan. It's probably not as good as Train to Busan. I still think it is a very good movie. I mean, I went in with a very low expectations because I saw Psychokinesis, and I thought Psychokinesis wasn't that great. I mean, it was a fun movie. You could watch it with your kids, but you end up forgetting about it after a few days, and you think, oh, Psychokinesis, what was that all about? Which was Yoon Sang-ho's last movie, which he made for Netflix. That's still available on Netflix if you want to see it. I recommend not to. I don't think it's that great, but you know, if you want to have a bit of fun, check it out. So after seeing Psychokinesis, I didn't really have that much high expectation. Plus, it's a sequel. I mean, sequels tend to... I always have this idea of sequels, which a very good sequel is very rarely done these days. I mean, it was really good in the 80s and the 90s. If you saw a sequel, they were usually pretty good. But nowadays, to gain that the same sort of you know, love for a film, you won't get it that often. So with this, I was quite surprised. I was surprised. I did think it was pretty good, and I would definitely want to watch it again. I thought it was really enjoyable. I loved Gang Dong-won's performance in this. I loved the zombies, but the rogue militia were quite, you know, they were dark. And there's some really nice set pieces in this. There was this like road, like a car chase, which looked really cool. Looked like something out of Mad Max Fury Road. So it was a real high octane like action movie, and it is more of an action movie than the previous one. So go into it thinking that really it is very much an action movie with zombies, violent characters. And yeah, a very fun movie as well. So yeah, I definitely recommend it. I think it's a very good movie. But yeah, it's no Train to Busan, I would say. But yeah, guys, definitely check it out. I know it's coming out in Asia. It's already out in Asia. There are slight delays to it coming out in Europe and the US, but I'm sure it will come out very soon. I don't know the specific dates offhand, and I know they keep changing as well with what's happening with the pandemic. I'm sure it's going to be even more delayed in the US now. But yeah, guys, check it out. If you've seen it or you can't wait to see it, comment below. Let me know your thoughts on what you thought of Train to Busan and Seoul Station. I loved Seoul Station, actually. I think it was one of the best animations of the year of 2016. It was really dark and gritty. But yeah, let me know what you think. Click like, hit that subscribe button. I'll be doing more videos soon. Until then, guys, take it easy, and I'll see you soon. Take care.